Check, check, check. Check, check. Check, check, check. Hello, viewer. Still waking up. Let me know if you have any questions about what the hell I'm making. Once. Another shadow. Nah, shadow distance. Other shadows. Forecast speeds. About 500. It's better. Yeah. Definitely more into daylight cycle here. Okay, very more shadow distance. It's not quite enough. don't know what the downsides are. Hello, Kristen Gamer. 582. Hold on. Do you want to see what I'm making? I'll demonstrate. So this is entry for the VR game jam, and the theme is Small World, which is an awesome theme. So what we're doing, a lot of headset on and off for this one, is we're making a player. What was the downsides of the shadow? We have a tiny little planet. It's just a sphere right now with some trees on it that you can navigate around. Sorry, my little teleporting beams are incredibly short. Let me fix that so I can demonstrate this better. You're on a tiny little planet, it's maybe 40 meters across diameter. So it's basically going to be like a sandbox / toy box of just tons of little interactive stuff that you can interact with each other and stuff. But you can also grab the world with your triggers and stretch it, and that'll make you smaller or bigger. So there's going to be like I have a demonstration. It's like a tiny little house about the size of a matchbox. So you can shrink yourself down, and then you can walk around inside this house. So it's going to be a kind of fitting the theme on 2 different levels. And then other than that, it's going to be pretty much just an achievement-based playground of things you can mess around with. So there'll be all kinds of little strange toys and things to mess with, and combining them and interacting with them together will be like achievements. But mostly it's just free-form sandbox. But let me fix what was I fixing? Oh yeah, my little lasers are way too short. Max distance 30. No, I'm not playing this for fucking huge. Hey, Andrew. So I was Italian. I'm not going to hold out against him. I love it though. I've only been there once, but it was great. Alright. A lot of headset work on this thing. I know they just did a recall for headsets. Is it itchy? Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's a placebo effect or bloody itchy. It's a while. So we can walk around this tiny little planet. You can see by the horizon on the side, over there, that we're going on the South Pole right now. So I'm completely on the side of the planet. Everything uses gravity toward the center of the planet, so if I throw something hard enough, it should be able to go into orbit. That little tent over here. This is the trick, though. You can pull both triggers, and you can scale yourself up. I need to make this more sensitive. You can scale yourself up. So I can make myself massive. Or, more interestingly, let me find something, a better example. One of these trees has something fun around there. See this? So I put a little house down here. This is a bit janky at the moment because of the colliders and that ball's not supposed to go away. Whatever. So if I shrink myself down, you can go forever. You're going to have a hard limit on how big you can get. You're not going to have a limit on how small you can get. If I get myself kind of close to this thing, I can make myself smaller. The tree, the house is like, yeah, that's like a normal size house now. The tree is absolutely huge. Those are blades of grass over there. But yeah, if I make myself about human size, I think it's pretty long going inside the house. So you're going to be exploring a small world, but also like on a meta level, you will achieve success too. What do you think? What do you think, Andrew? Is that the Andrew seal approval? Is it an open source game? No. We have text in the live chat. I'm not sure if you got text in the live chat. I'm reading the live chat. It's a game jam, so we have 72 hours total. so we have to finish this by Sunday evening, 7 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then we've got to submit what we've got. So it's not a lot of time. So we chose something that we know. I'm gonna spend the rest of today getting core mechanics down. So I want it to be really smooth at the scaling. I want to improve on that. I want to make sure that when you're really small, it interacts with the world very well. And I'm gonna spend the rest of the day after that working on a nice, flexible achievement system. Something that's the other two people I'm working with. And that's to answer your question, that's Kristen and me with X circuitry alumni. So I'm making an achievement system so anybody who adds, those guys are mostly working on the interactive elements, like all the fun stuff to play around with in the world. I'm working on the core stuff, and I'm gonna make it so if you select an item or highlight an item, it shows you like possible achievements, like silly names and stuff, and whether you've achieved them or not. And I'll make it so two other developers can very easily add to their, once they realize it's like, oh, that there's a target in the game and I've just added a bow and arrow or something. They say, well, my bow and arrow, I'm going to register this achievement, which means if a target's been interacted with in this arrow. Okay. I'm trying to make that an easy system for them to do, because previously I did game jams and I bite off more than I can chew. I think this one's achievable. And we can just keep adding to it. Once the core systems are in place, which we've done today, we just keep adding fun stuff. Like just go through the asset store, literally just go through the Unity asset store and just buy fun assets. See, yeah, I'm working on the hand scaling right now. For me, it feels backwards. You kind of grab the world and stretch it. To me, that feels like I'm taking space-time and I'm making space-time bigger when I stretch my arms out. So I feel like I should be getting smaller. That's what it feels like. But right now it's the opposite. I get bigger when I stretch out, which doesn't quite feel right. So I'm going to try to invert that. The math's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to try to invert that and make it so it's sensitive. It's easier to get bigger and smaller, but you still have fine control. So you need to have a look at the math for that, which is in here. It's not really much math to it. It's pretty much how I'm doing it now. If my computer slows down since I'm having a massive overheating problem, I'm trying to solve last minute, but hopefully it'll hold up. The math right now is pretty straightforward. When you grab, I'm using the new Unity input system, which I've never used before. So when in doubt, and the XR interaction toolkit, which I've also not used before. Not much. So when in doubt and you're doing a game jam, take on 2 new things at once. Why not? What can go wrong? So these guys get triggered and keep track of whether the left and right triggers are held. I should probably name those. I'm not settled on the triggers, to be honest. I prefer use scripts, but either way, if they're both started being held, then I store is my computer already melting? I don't do this to me. It's getting better. It's still playing. Yep. Okay, so when you start stretching, it stores the distance between the two controls, the local position distance. This is important because as you get smaller, the distance between your controllers gets smaller too. They're scaling down with your body. So I have to look at the local position relative to the camera, effectively. Otherwise, because the camera's shrinking. So if I don't look at the local position, then the math won't work. So I look at the local positions between the two hands, and then I divide that by a max. I'm still not sure about this. This is just an arbitrary number that's I found seemed to work well. I did some measurements and 1.3. Like I got fairly wide arms, but wanted to make it so kids could play it. So 1.3 is about a good reach. Anybody could reach that distance. So I'm using this as like a maximum spread, but I'm not sure this is necessary. It's just this value of 1.3. I don't even know if you need this at all. So basically what we're doing later on is we get the current distance, again, divided by this 1.3, and then we work out the percentage. So this is the current distance subtracted by the distance you started out at when you held the triggers. So this will start out at about 0. I'm talking this through, so that's not help my brain think. This should start at around 0 because your hands haven't moved much since you held the triggers. So anything divided by around 0 is going to be a very small number, and then we add 1 to that because we're using this percentage. So it has to be 1. If you don't move your hands, it stays at 100%. So then we go ahead and scale by the starting scale, which is what just the local scale at the beginning, times that percentage. So if you move if this distance gets greater, then this number will become positive, and so this gets becomes bigger than 1, and therefore it'll get bigger. So I think I just need to flip these two. I thought I tried this yesterday. If I just flip these two, so if this number gets bigger, then this number will get smaller, so you should get smaller. I need to rename this because it's a terrible name for a percentage. Scale percent. Like better. So I think just by flipping those two numbers should give me the effect I want. And I want to listen to music. I have a to-do list here. I have another issue I need to tackle with in a minute, but one at a time. I solved that coding problem last night, but it's lagging like hell again already. I went full-on mad scientist on my laptop yesterday. Got like a six fan cooler underneath it. I 3D printed some CAD models I made with wedges to hold the screen open just a bit so it can breathe better. Doesn't seem to be helping. I don't know what a normal computer's temperature is, but mine is hot. 90 degrees. I think it's CPU throttling. It feels like a CPU throttling. Like, really CPU throttling. And I hate that. It has to do it, or the computer will melt. I don't want that. But I don't know how to make this thing any cooler. But I'll have to take a break at the scary time. It's slowing my development way down. This is unfortunately one of those games that currently I have to wear the headset to test, which is annoying. I don't know if you got your product recall for your Quest 2 for the skin irritating thing. I don't know if it's just a placebo effect, but this has been itching a lot more recently. Well, I don't wear it for lengths of time very often, so probably just I got one of the itchy ones. See, what I'm talking about. This progress, I just hit play like what, a minute ago? 35 seconds ago. It's still on. Okay, so bad. Makes me not want to test my game. Yeah, this ending, you can order for, do you order your, this sucks. It was fine when I just started my computer. Now, and it's also absolutely horrible lag in here. Like, oh my god, the frame rate is so bad. Okay, that feels, yes, that feels better. I can't even test this, okay. What am I going to do with this computer? I can't put it in a vat of water. I need to cool it down. I have a drawer of so-called fans here, but like just tiny little fans. I only have this one left, I think. I have an idea. It's going to be noisy. Because my laptop is underneath my screen, and it's actually as a screen kind of stand, whatever. I'm going to rip up this whole thing. OBS does not help in this setting, so my computer is also overheating. I do want to stream this thing, so I'm hoping you can bear with me here. I'm going to take the lava apart. Screen down. situation back here. This thing is just in a little 3D printed spreads, but if I can open this thing up, yeah, that's hot. It's fucking hot. It's on the cooler. It's not breathing though. I can't put my monitor straight on the keyboard. Like, Jesus Christ, that's hot. Ooh. You can cook something on that. You can easily toast bread. So, my plan, I want to get more work done. This is totally stopping me. Is to open it up and just tilt it like that. Jam it back. Like, I don't know, up there. Okay. Still got the fans on it. I have a ghetto setup, okay? I don't know if my screen's gonna fit. The fans are still on it. Wide open so I can breathe. Screen fix. No, ideally. I have another fan I can put right there too, you know. So I always have like 1,000 USB ports. Everything powered off USBs, dude. Do I have a spare USB port? Oh yeah, I do, because this big fan also has USB out. So I have a little fan, big fan, and fucking OBS, which just choose. Maybe I'll turn down. I don't know. I'll turn down. Oh, this is pathetic. I need to overclock this fan. What voltage is it running at? 5 volts. I can do better than that. Okay, this is probably a set fire stuff. I know you tuned in for a game jam, you're about to get a bit of hacking mad scientist shit here. Let me, I can show you what I'm doing. There. Okay, sitting on all my soldering shit. So this thing wants 5 volts. I think I can do better than that. That's just a recommended amount. Actually, I might also cut anything apart. I've got a adapter here, which has every possible DC jack ending, but this might be the right one if I'm lucky. Probably not lucky. Totally am. Okay, so what should I crank into the guy? Start with 9 volts. You want 5? Well, not cookies. 9. Let's get a set fire a second. Oh yeah. Can we go higher than 9? I mean, it's either gonna blow up or not, right? That's should run like this. You can hear that. Should run that. But fuck that. Let's go 6, 10.5, 9, 12. So loud. I'm still able to find out if it works. This is the difference. Okay. Now you can fit it back there. Normal schedule, normal programming will resume momentarily. Hopefully with cooler laptop. Oh my god, all that dust. The mad scientist dust escaping. Okay, if that doesn't fucking cool it down, I don't know what will. Well, I'll come up with a real solution later, like, I don't know, buy a desktop if you ever want. It's so loud. I'm just not gonna adjust it, but is that annoying enough on microphone? I don't know if my microphone's got noise cancellation. Yeah, OBS is running the machine. I know OBS completely destroys machines, but it shouldn't destroy it this bad. I'm using Streamlabs, which is based off OBS. Okay, temperature. We're falling. No idea. I guess let's find out. Let's slow. Can't hear it. Fucking it like I barely must talk. Yeah, this is here. This. Hello. Yeah, I just got a program that shows it's on. Yeah. It's got this thing that shows temperatures. That really doesn't seem to have much of an effect. Maybe I can turn OBS. Can I make OBS less bleeding? You have much experience with OBS, Andrew? Because ideally, I don't want. I mean, my screen in a weird place until my desk looks like shit. Rather than make OBS just less shit. So, is there like a process priority? I turn that down. Bit rate. I mean, I don't want to make it look like shit. I don't need to go change it. Do you have to stop? You have to stop the. This is good. 2500. Okay. What about turning down then the? I don't want a replay buffer. Okay, my bitrate's fine. I'll leave my bitrate alone. Let me try just turning this down. Below normal. I'm not worried about the temperature. For a computer, let's see if making code. I'll just roll it for now and see how it goes. What was I doing? God damn, that's loud. I have to turn that down a bit. I can't think. My encoder is NVIDIA. I think what I did when I set up this graphic settings is OBS is set to use my Intel device. So it should be. I wonder if that means it's using the CPU. Do I want it to be using the GPU? Oh, so when I do the GPU, it won't record my main screen. I think I'll definitely have to restart that. It won't. It just refuses to record my main screen when I use. That would make sense. So it's just hammering my CPU, basically. That would explain why there's literally nothing I can do about it. Okay. I can't record my main screen. Do I have a splitter? Do you have an HDMI splitter somewhere? Okay, well, I'm gonna try it. If it means restarting the stream, then so be it. It's just you and me, but anyway, right now. It's you and me, buddy. So I wouldn't mind restoring this desktop to be useful again. So I'll try. I'll have to restart this thing, so I'll message you when the stream's back up.